Hello everybody, I'm Namita Thapar, Executive Director of MCure Pharmaceuticals, and today on Uncondition Yourself, we will be talking about menopause. Menopause is when a woman doesn't get her periods for 12 months in a row. In India, it typically happens at the age of 46 versus the West, where the average age is around 51. We have our expert, Dr. Kiran, and we have Dilys as well as Mala. So Kiran, let's start with a question that I was really curious about. What is the reason you chose menopause as your favorite topic to speak on?
Out of empathy for women. Most women who are going through menopause don't realize that all the symptoms that they are feeling is actually because of menopause. It takes, at least 5 to 10 years. It's gradual waning of the ovarian hormones, estrogen. And as a result of which, the symptoms also come in subtly, like weight gain, the hot flushes, the irritability, the insomnia, the night sweats. And it comes at a time of life when a woman is at her peak. I would say 45 to 55, we are really at our peak.
Right.
Now, be it a career woman, she has worked so hard all her life to reach that position. So also women in the house who have looked after their home, devoted their time to their children. Menopause is coming at a time of her life where the children have gone off to college, she has an empty nest, then her husband has had his last promotion, he's at home, and so she loses her space in the house. She has elderly parents to take care of, and her own health. It hits her at that time. And so therefore, recognizing that one is going through menopause and having help is very important in a woman's life.
Can you tell us a bit more about what is the right age? Is it a certain age, or is it when you see symptoms that a woman should go and get herself diagnosed? How do you get diagnosed? And then the treatment part of things.
Sure. Now, first of all, as I said, it's a long drawn-out process. So you have menopause, you have the premenopause, women who are regularly cycling and they've not yet going into menopause. So that would be the range about, say, 40 to 45. Then at 45 starts the perimenopause. The perimenopause is the period leading towards when the periods stop. And usually it's about 4 to 5 years. During the perimenopause, then the symptoms of estrogen deprivation start. Now, all the symptoms of menopause is because of estrogen deprivation. Do you know that women, right from their head to their toes, have estrogen receptors? Now, these receptors are being deprived of estrogen, and therefore you have the symptoms. The symptoms also of perimenopause may be irregular bleeding. When you have irregular bleeding during menopause, you must see your gynecologist because it could be other problems as well. This is the time of life when fibroids come, polyps, growths inside the uterus, early cancer. So, one has to rule out all these before you come to the diagnosis of menopause. If you have perimenopause, then there's no need to, second guess and do a test before. But if you are having these symptoms, then a simple blood test called follicle stimulating hormone and anti-Mullerian hormone, these two are raised, and yes, this is truly menopause. But at the same time, one should not let down his guard and their guard, because I have many women say, oh, now I'm menopause, now I don't need to use contraception. But there is a stray ovulation, and suddenly you get pregnant. I've had mothers-in-law and mothers come with their daughters and daughters-in-law, to the consulting room and for their checkup. And they said, we haven't got our periods for some time. Maybe it's menopause. Can you check me up? And then we find that the full-blown pregnancy.
Oh my God.
they didn't even know about. Yeah. So that's the thing. So these symptoms, as I said, they could be immediate symptoms, they could be delayed symptoms, and they could be long-term symptoms. Now, the immediate symptoms are because the ovary is not reacting to the pituitary hormones. At FSH, you get the hot flushes, and that's why they are pulsatile. Now, with hot flushes, you have a feeling of heat rising from the tummy and going up to the face, and you sweat profusely, and then the hot flush goes. Now, most women get hot flashes. They last for 4 to 5 years. And you can't function because nights you're not sleeping, you have insomnia, you have night sweats, you're flushing all the time. And all your colleagues also will tell you, oh, she must be menopausing. That the snide comments which men can have.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Haven't we all heard those?
You see, either you're PMSing and then you go menopausing. So for those symptoms, if they interfere with day-to-day life, then yes, definitely treatment is there. Then later on you have vaginal dryness. very severe pain during intercourse, dryness that leads to loss of libido. Now, this is a time of life when your husband is, very sexually active because he feels now he himself is going into menopause.
Right.
And you are at a stage where you don't want intercourse because there's so much of vaginal dryness and pain.
Right.
It's like, actually chili powder in the vagina. It's that bad.
Okay.
So you lose your libido. So this is where marital conflicts start. Now, these women do need treatment in the form of lubrications, vaginal creams, estrogen, etc., which I'll talk about later.
Okay.
Then also, women in the perimenopause start having urinary symptoms, frequency of urination, urgency. By the time you reach the toilet, the urine comes out.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yes, and 1 out of 5 women in the perimenopausal age group have what we call stress urinary incontinence. When you laugh, cough and sneeze, there's a bout of urine.
Right.
That's because of the laxity of the tissues, because there's no estrogen. So they also suffer in silence and they have to be treated. And frequent urinary tract infections. After menopause, 1 out of 3 women will have frequent urinary tract infections because of the thinning down of the lower urinary tract.
Right.
And because of that, the infections from E. coli from the rectum, from the vagina, go into the urinary bladder. And once they colonize in the bladder, you have recurrent UTIs.
Right.
So therefore, they also have to be treated. Then you have the long-term effects. The long-term effects are cardiovascular. Women will never have a heart attack as long as they are getting their periods compared to men of the same age group, because we are protected by estrogen. Estrogen is heart protective. It lowers the cholesterol, it prevents the formation of plaques, etc., and coronary artery disease. But after menopause, we have the same incidence of heart failure and cardiac attacks and also coronary artery disease as the men. And then, of course, you have osteoporosis.
It's a very big one.
Which is a big one. It comes like a thief in the night. Slowly, the estrogen, because of estrogen. Estrogen is important because it helps in the absorption of calcium. It prevents the resorption of calcium from the bones.
Right.
And so they keep the bones. Those bones are actually living organisms. Or constantly calcium is being deposited and being withdrawn.
Right.
And the bones are being formed. All this is the realm of estrogen. So when estrogen becomes less, do you know that we lose 30% of our skeleton in the first 6 years after menopause? And you've noticed over the years, women become shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's because their spine starts compressing. And so therefore they get brittle bones. So this osteoporosis also is something that we have to take care of.
Right.
Before it sets in. And this is also hereditary. So osteoporosis and then dementia and joint pains and all the other things which are incumbent with menopause. So that's why most women sometimes fear menopause, because they feel that you become itchy, bitchy, dry, all dried
itchy,
up.
bitchy, that's a good one.
All dried
I've
up,
become itchy, bitchy.
bloating and weight gain and everything. So those are the symptoms. Of course, when it comes to treatment, we give hormone replacement therapy only for a short period of time, for the smallest dose, for those women who really need it. And there are many women who really need it, and we can give it as a titrated dose. Each woman is an individual, so we see what is best for her. The treatment could be hormonal and non-hormonal. So that is, then the non-hormonal, I would say number 1 is lifestyle change. When you're menopausal, immediately you diagnose it and you realize now you have to change. No, your diet is the most important. No animal fats, no sweets, all that changes, and you have a sattvic sort of diet. A very good high protein and less carbohydrate, lots of fruits, salads, vegetables, the usual pyramid change that we always show the patients. So a good diet and exercise. Now, even women who have never exercised before will have to exercise. And the exercise should be weight-bearing exercises. Because when you do weight-bearing, the muscles are attached to the bone. And that strengthens the bone. So, more so for postmenopausal and perimenopausal women, weight-bearing exercises with light weights also are very beneficial. So, and of course, yoga and meditation. Meditation, because this is a time where you really have severe mood swings. And everyone, and the husbands very often first say, we'll take you to a psychiatrist, which are not at all required. All you have to do is meditate, realize what you're going through, have a positive attitude, have a lifestyle change, and most women will sail through menopause with just that.
When I was researching menopause, I came across this really funny quote saying, menopause is the evil older sister of puberty. And that really sounds quite right. You know?
It's absolutely right.
It sounds quite evil for a woman to have to go through all these symptoms, and like you said, at the peak of both a professional and personal life. So thank you for giving us so much information that made it so easy to understand. We move on to our two amazing women. Why don't we start with you, Mala? Just tell us a bit about your journey with menopause, how it started, and then what are some of the difficulties or disruptions in your life that you faced?
For me, I guess as a teenager, I always had heavy periods. So that was already there. So added to that, when I started getting the menopausal symptoms, it worsened. And every time I feel that it was like a mini delivery, because I used to get a lot of clots. And it's not for the faint-hearted, because you can't see that blood. The only thing I did get was insomnia, but I did not go through the torturous, if I would say, phase of
So you had
menopause.
mild symptoms, basically.
Very mild, honestly. So that kept me good. And then to talk to your doctor, to have those sessions where you really are open, candid, and say, this is what is happening to me. So, they guide you. They tell you, okay, this is the right way to go forward. Mm-hmm. My husband was diagnosed with cancer, prostate cancer, and it was probably the last stage that he was. But he did have a good 3 years. But we did lose him. He lost the battle, and I lost him to cancer. And, your world is falling apart here, and I'm trying to cope with that grief. I have 2 boys. I've never worked a day in my life, and I'm living like a queen. And then your life the fairy tale takes a 180-degree turn. So I had to step into his work, into his very big shoes. He's for IIT, UCLA, blah, 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 the works, IT. All through my husband's phase when he was going through cancer and when I lost him, she was there as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide, and I would just sometimes go in there and just cry. She would listen to me, and then she would guide me and support me, and so that meant a lot to me. What really helped me apart from this was my yoga and meditation. I feel that 50 is the new 30.
Ooh, nice.
Wonderful.
That's a good one.
And I truly live by my mantra is, my boys will tell you that, is 30 plus till I die. The right medication, supplements, whatever it is, and I feel you can sail through menopause, and it's not the monster that we should really create, and that is what I would say.
This is the attitude that most women should have. Because as I said, it's a wide spectrum. Some have very little symptoms. Yeah. Some have a very positive attitude towards it, like Mala. But there are many women who actually have the symptoms. Yeah. They are the ones who need to have therapy, but they also will sail through. And as you said, it's a new phase of life where, you can't get pregnant. you don't have to deal with the monthly monster. You don't have to deal with the monthly monster, and you have a new serenity in life.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
And that new serenity comes with menopause. So absolutely. That's also wonderful.
And with that, we move to Dilys. I would love for you to share your story with our audience as well, Dilys. Please do.
Sure. It started with the symptoms that doctor spoke about. I had no clue. I was about 45. And the first thing that happened to me was my periods just stopped. There was no start and stop or something. It just stopped. And after about missing 2 of them, I very clearly remember having a panic attack. And I said maybe it was the weather or something like that, and I regained my balance for the day. As time went on, these estrogen deprivation symptoms, which I came to learn later with doctor, became so bad. I was dizzy. I felt I couldn't hear properly. Therefore, I went to the ENT. I told my GP about it, so they gave me some multivitamins. Then I started getting headaches which simply would not go. Insomnia. I went to an MD who told me I had a brain tumor. Then I started feeling depressed. Panic attacks one day and complete depression the next day. So I asked for leave from work. I took 1 month off. I was not functional. I reached a stage where I stopped my daughter from going to college because I said I'm going to die in the house.
Oh my God.
The palpitations were there. This went on for about 3 or 4 months, going from doctor to find out what is wrong with me. And I said inside of myself, I was 100% ill with something that I did not know. And then finally, a doctor friend only of mine came to the house one day, and he asked me, well, what are you feeling? What is wrong with you? And the tears wouldn't stop. 24/7, the tears would just be rolling down my cheeks. I don't know what I was crying about. Finally, that doctor told me, I think you need to see a gynecologist today. I think you're undergoing menopause, and I think this is hormone sort of related thing. That very evening, I took an appointment, and my daughter told Dr. Kiran that I don't know what has happened to my mummy, but she's absolutely despairing and desperate. So she called me. One look at me, and Dr. Kiran said, why are you suffering like this? I said, I just didn't know what was happening. And from then she sent me for those tests and this and that and the other. And finally I got a name as to what was ailing me. When somebody tells you this is what is wrong, and then you start the treatment for it, finally you know that you're not off your head. Yeah. And doctor monitored me through it all so beautifully, so beautifully. Do you know, in 3 weeks, I felt new.
Absolutely. You know, it's one of the things we hope this show does is, I always tell the doctors, you know, the doctor and me are the extras. The real heroes of this show are the women we bring. And, you know, thank you so much for coming here, because I'm very sure the way you've spoken straight from your heart with so much candor, such positive stories, they are going to inspire a lot of women who are watching you and who are going to be watching this show. So with that, we end a very positive, a very inspiring show. Thank you again for joining us.
ढूंढने है वो निकली तकदीर अपनी उजली इल्ली ने मन में ठाना है बन के उड़ना